Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. This is a continuity of my previous video. How to implement the CRUD functionality without using entity framework in razorpages. Let's check the final output. We'll create a new record. We'll get the new employee details. We'll edit that employee details and we'll delete that record. Peter, the email ID is pet@gmail.com. His age is 29. His salary is 1000. Now add new employee. See, here we got the Peter details are added successfully and displayed in this table from the database. Let's check this Peter detail is added successfully or not in our database. I'm executing this table again. See, here we got the Peter details. Let's change this Peter email ID. Edit. The Peter email ID is at gmail.com. Peter. Edit. See here the new updated email ID is. Let's check in the database table. Right now this Peter email ID is pet@gmail.com. Now when I execute, see here we got a new email ID for the Peter. Now we'll get the details of Charan. Edit, not the edit, back to list. Details. See here the Charan details. Back to list again. Now let's delete the Peter. Delete. See, are you sure you want to delete employee ID too? Delete. See, the Peter has gone from the table. Let's check in our database table also. When I execute, see there is no more Peter in our table. Let's delete the Charan also. Delete. Are you sure you want to delete employee ID 1? Delete. So now our table is totally empty. We'll check in our database table also. Execute. So query executed successfully. Right now this table contains errors. That's it. We have implemented the CRUD functionality create, read, update and delete without using entity framework in razorpages. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Now in this part 2 video I will show you how to implement to get the employee details, update the employee details and delete the employee details without using entity framework in razorpages. If you missed my previous video part 1, I strongly recommend please watch that video before continuing this part 2. Otherwise you'll get confused. At the end of this video tutorial you'll get that link, the part 1 video tutorial. Let's continue this programming part to edit details and delete functionality without using entity framework. The first functionality in this video I will show you how to get the particular employee details. Open Solution Explorer. In the project, notice the pages folder. Let's add a new razor page. Right click the pages folder. Add. I'm selecting razor page. I'm selecting razor page. Click add. Let's give the razor page name is details. Click add. And here we got our details page model. First in this page model I'm adding the packages using system.data using system.data.SQL client. And the last namespace I'm adding using my project name dot models folder. Once again I'm telling, if you missed my previous video, please watch that. I have showed how to install the system.data package in our project folder. You see, in Solution Explorer, when I expand the dependencies folder, the packages, the system.data.sql client. Now in the page model, I'm adding bind property. Added the properties I have created in a class, EMP class. So let's add the class name, public. The class name is a EMP class, and let's give the property name display record. Get and set. After that, in the onGet method, I'm adding the int ID. We're getting the employee details with the help of the employee ID. So now in this onGet method, let's create an object for this EMP class. EMP class EC is equals to new EMP class. Then we'll add our connection string. I have already showed in my previous video how to add the connection string. So that connection string in the index.cshtml, just copy this part, and also I require this connection string also, SQL connection. Let's copy that and paste here. Now string SQL query is equals to, the query is a select start from, the table name is new employee table. Let's copy this one and paste here, where employee EMP ID is equals to single quotes, double quotes, single quotes. Now between this double quotes I'm adding plus plus, and this plus plus I'm adding ID semicolon. After that, in the SQL connection string I'm adding using SQL command class, SQL com is equals to new SQL command. And this SQL command takes two parameters. The first one is the SQL query, the command text, comma, and the connection object. The connection object is a SQL con. Copy that one and paste here. Now let's open the connection string SQL con.open method. After open the connection string, now we'll read the data from the table using SQL data reader SDR is equals to SQL command object dot execute reader method. Execute reader method. Now to read the data, I'm using while loop, while SDR dot read method. Now let's add the properties from the EMP class EC, which is a EMP class object. EC dot, the property names here, the first one employee ID is equals to SDR, between double quotes I'm adding the employee ID, the column name, and here it's showing some error message. We need to convert the type, so convert dot to int 32, EC dot employee name, the second column name is the property name, employee name, convert dot toString method. In this method I'm adding SDR between double quotes. The column name is the employee name. The next property EC dot email is equals to convert dot to int, sorry, not int string, it's a string type, to string SDR between double quotes. I'm adding the column name in the table. AC dot, the next column name is the age is equals to, is an integer type, convert dot to int 32 SDR between double quotes, the column name is the age, semicolon, and the last property is the salary of the employee, convert, which is an integer type, so I need to add the int 32, then SDR between double quotes, I'm adding the column name from the table, salary. Now the last step, after the while loop and using read, I'm adding this display record. Display record is equals to, I'm adding the object of this employee class is semicolon. That's it. There's one more extra bracket here. That's it. We have written the code to get the particular employee details. In these details razor page. Now switch to the details.cshtml. To display the records, we need to add using my project name dot models folder. Then let's add the heading details page. Let's add the table. The table class is the, I'm adding bootstrap table class. Table semicolon. Then dr td. The first one is the employee ID colon at html dot display for model dot employee empid, sorry, not that, model dot, see here we got the display record, which is our the property name of the emp class. See here the display record dot display record dot, here we're getting the properties employee ID. Let's copy this one. The second column employee name, this one dot employee emp name, dr td. The next column is the email at html dot display for model dot display record dot email dr td age at html dot display for model dot display record dot, the property name is the age. Let's close this HTML display file. And the last column is a salary column at html dot display for model dot display record dot salary. Now the last step, let's add a ASP page is the index back to list. That's it, we have written the coding part and display the records in this details razor page. And now before run this application, let's switch to the index.cshtml. In this page I am adding td ASP page. The page name is the details page, and the second property is the ASP route ID at item dot the emp ID. The link name is the details link. That's it. Let's save this file. We'll check the output. I'm reloading the browser. And here we got a new output. And notice we got the details link in this table. Let's click the details. And here we got the details of this particular employee ID 1. Back to list. And if you check the URL, see the details question mark ID is equals to 1. Let's make this URL is a SEO friendly. So let's add the routing facility. Go to details page, double quotes, ID colon int, and this ID is this one. So let's check the output again. Let's save this file. Back to list. Now we'll check the details again. Details. Now if you check the URL, see the details /1, which is a SEO friendly URL. Now my next target is, let's add the edit and details links also for this index view page, and we'll add the functionality for the both. Index.cshtml. First let's add the links. 3D ASP page. The page name is edit ASP route ID at item dot emp ID. And the link name is the edit. Let's copy this one. The next one is the delete. The link name is a delete. That's it. Now we'll add the razor pages edit and delete. Open Solution Explorer. Right click the pages folder. Add a razor page. I'm selecting razor page, click add. The razor page name is the edit. So let's add this one, edit. Click add. And here we got our edit page. Now first in this edit page, let's add the namespaces the details.cshtml, the same namespaces whatever we have added in these details will include in this edit page also. And instead of writing the same code, I'm just copying this part to get the details before we update the particular employee record. In the void onGet method, just simply add this copy this one and paste here. So once we get the particular employee details, now we'll add the onPost method to edit the details. Public iActionResult onPost async Now in this method I am adding the integer id. Now we require the connection string. To get the connection string, here we already declared. Let's copy this one, copy this, paste here. Don't require the same class here. Using SQL connection, SQL con is an object, new SQL connection. In this SQL connection I am adding my connection data source object, connection then string. Let's add the update query. Update query is equals to between double quotes update. The table name is the here the table name is new employee. Copy that one, paste here, set. I want to update only the email ID of the particular employee, so I am adding email. The column name is equals to between single quotes double quotes plus plus. And this plus plus I am adding this method, the property name display record dot emp name dot toString method where employee ID is equals to plus ID. That's it. We have written the query to update the particular selected employee record. Now the next step, let's add SQL command. SQL com is an object, new SQL command. The SQL command object takes two parameters. One is the SQL command update query, comma, and the connection object. The connection object is this SQL con. Copy this one and paste here. Let's open the connection string. That open method. Then SQL com dot execute a non-query method. So once the record is updated, I want to redirect to the page, index page. So after this curly braces, I'm return redirect to page between double quotes. I'm adding the object index. That's it. We have written the code to update the particular employee record in this onPost async. Now switch to edit.cshtml. Let's change the heading, edit employee details. Now we require at using my project name models folder, and here switch to the details.cshtml. Let's copy this one just for the time saving. Instead of writing all the things, I'm pasting here. Horizontal line, copy this one, paste here. Now in our code, I'm just updating the email ID only. So here the email ID, I'm adding input type is equals to email, and ASP for, and this ASP for I'm adding the display record dot, the property name is email. Let's close the element. That's it. So after that, I'm adding input type is equals to submit, and the value is edit. Let's add the form tag. Form method is equals to post. Let's close the form tag. We are posting the data. And that's it. Let's save this file. We'll check the output. Browser, I'm reloading the browser. And here we got a new output. Notice now we got the edit, delete links also. And now let's edit the employee channel details. So notice here we got the text box control for the email ID. I'm changing the email ID charan@yahoo.com. Now before edit the employee details, let's check in our database table, execute. Right now this employee name Charan, email ID is charan@gmail.com. Now let's update, edit. Oops, here we got an error. Email. See here the EMP name we have added. Let's change that one. Edit.cshtml, display records. This one is the email ID. We are changing the email. Now let's save this file. We check the output. Now let's change the email ID charan@yahoo.com. Click edit. And notice here the email ID of the Charan. Now it's charan@yahoo.com. Let's check in the table also, database table, execute. See now the email ID is charan@yahoo.com. Now the final step, we require the delete functionality. Let's switch over to the coding part. Open Solution Explorer. Right click the pages folder. We'll add a new razor page for the delete functionality. Razor page. I'm selecting the razor page. Click add. And the razor page is delete. Add. And here we got our delete model also. Now let's add the packages. Edit.cshtml. And now I require this namespaces. Copy that one. Paste here. Then we require the property of the class, the binding property. Copy this one and paste here. Now before deleting the record, we first get the particular employee details. So we have already written the code. So let's copy this one, copy it, and paste here. So once we got a particular employee details, now we'll add the delete functionality of that employee ID. Let's minimize this one. Now edit.cshtml page. I'm just copying this on post async method. Let's minimize, copy this one and paste here. Now just I'm changing the query. The rest of the code is same. So instead of update, I'm adding delete from new employee, the table name. I don't require the set email, where employee ID is equals to plus ID, and the rest of the code is the same. Now delete.cshtml will add this loading functionality. And we require the add using my project name dot models folder, delete employee, the heading name. So here only the delete employee, horizontal line. I'm adding h4. Are you sure? You want to delete employee ID. I'm adding bold tag. Now in this bold tag I'm adding the edit.cshtml file. I'm copying this employee ID. Copy this one and paste here to display the selected employee ID. Then I'm adding form tag. Form method is equals to post. Now in this form tag I'm adding one button control to delete the record, and the second one the link, href link, to back to the list index view page. So first let's add input type is equals to submit. The type of the button is submit and the value is delete. Now the second one, href link. The href link is we already have here, so just copy this one and paste here. That's it. We have done the complete coding part to delete the particular employee record. Now let's save this file. I'm reloading the browser. After I reload the browser, now before delete this churn record, let's check the final output. We'll create a new record. We'll get the new employee details. We'll edit that employee details and we'll delete that record. Peter, the email ID is pet@gmail.com. His age is 29. His salary is 1000. Now add new employee. See, here we got the Peter details are added successfully and displayed in this table from the database. Let's check this Peter detail is added successfully or not in our database. I'm executing this table again. See, here we got the Peter details. Let's change this Peter email ID. Edit. The Peter email ID is at gmail.com. Peter, edit. See here the new updated email ID is. Let's check in the database table. Right now this Peter email ID is pet@gmail.com. Now when I execute, see here we got a new email ID for the Peter. Now we'll get the details of Charan, edit, not the edit, back to list, details. See here the Charan details, back to list again. Now let's delete the Peter, delete. See, are you sure you want to delete employee ID too? Delete. See, the Peter has gone from the table. Let's check in our database table also. When I execute, see there is no more Peter in our table. Let's delete the Charan also, delete. Are you sure you want to delete employee ID 1? Delete. So now our table is totally empty. We'll check in our database table also. Execute. So query executed successfully. Right now this table contains 0 rows. That's it. We have implemented the CRUD functionality, create, read, update and delete without using entity framework in razorpages.